Okay, so we're back again, and we're going to go ahead and measure angle 2. So to measure angle 2, you're going to go ahead and take your protractor, you're going to go ahead and move it, move the 0 point to the vertex. You're going to go ahead and line up with one side of the angle, and so I'm going to go ahead and line it up that way. And so in this case, I'm going to be using the outer scale. Now in looking at that, I see where it goes and crosses, and what does this one come up to be on angle 2? I have 164 degrees because it crosses right here, which is 164 degrees. Very good. Let's go ahead and look at number 3. Now number 3, you're going to have to kind of tilt your protractor a little bit. Very first thing, remember, the very first step is to go ahead and, there we go. Oops. I got to move my protractor, having trouble. There we go. Oh, wrong one. Just a second. We'll try that one again. We'll try and get, okay, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and line up my protractor with one side of the angle, or line it up with the vertex first, and then I'm going to go ahead and, having trouble. There we go. Let's see if I might, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and line it up with that side right there. And so mine actually looks, in this case, if I use the outer degrees, mine looks like it crosses where?
88.
I'm using the outer one this time, remember? Here's 0, 10, 20.
Yep,
so I've got 92. Oops, I hit the wrong. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Make sure you're using the right form. So 92 degrees. All right, so that should be it for protractor use. Let's look at the next one. Okay, here's a definition you need to get down. Two angles are congruent if and only if they have equal measure. Two angles are congruent if and only if they have equal measure. So how we write that, you've got a diagram there, is notice they use the little tick marks on the angles. That's one way. Sometimes you'll see angles without tick marks. Sometimes they will just have a normal, they'll just have a mark like this with nothing through it, and that's fine. Now the next one is the angle bisector. An angle bisector divides an angle into two congruent angles. The angle bisector divides an angle into two congruent angles, and that should make sense because when we think about the word bisect, bi means two sections. So it's kind of like an angle bisector is to an angle as what is to a segment. An angle bisector is to an angle as what is to a segment. So what is similar?
Midpoint.
Midpoint. Very good. Nice job. Okay, because a midpoint cuts a segment into two congruent parts, just as this does with the angle bisector. Now, the angle bisector in here would be named how? How would we name this angle bisector?
CD.
CD, what about CD?
Ray CD.
Ray CD, very good. If you notice here, this angle bisector is a ray. Has an endpoint, continues on forever in one direction.
No.
Oh, sorry, we'll go back. Okay.
I was like, no.
Okay, we've got a few more slides left, and then we might save our investigation till tomorrow. We'll wait and see.
All right.
Okay, let's go ahead and look at the next one. So it says, look for angle bisectors and congruent angles in the figures below. Name each angle bisector and the angle it bisects. So first of all, in these three diagrams, do we see an angle bisector?
Yes.
Which is an angle bisector?
Ray G.
Ray what?
Ray RP.
Ray RP is an angle bisector. Ray RP bisects what?
SRQ.
Bisects angle
SRQ.
SRQ. Now in looking at that, that's really the only angle bisector, because there's not an angle bisector in this third one either. Now it says name all congruent angles in the figure. Use the congruent symbol and name the angle so there's no confusion about which angle you mean. So first of all, congruent angles. I know this angle and this angle are the same. They say 52 degrees. So how I would write that? I would write that as angle S, R, P is congruent. There we go. To angle Q, R, P. So can somebody tell me what another one would be?
Angle YMN.
YMN
Is congruent to EMO.
EMO, good. Are there any other congruent angles? Any other congruent angles? Nope. Not from what we know right now. Okay, eventually there will be. Okay, but for right now, those are the two congruent angles. So any questions over that? Think you can handle that? All right, let's go ahead and look at the next slide then. The next slide talks about virtual pool. Okay, pool uses a ton of angles. And so if you notice here, it says pocket billiards or pool is a game of angles. When a ball bounces off the pool table's cushion, its path forms two angles with the edge of the cushion. The incoming angle is formed by the cushion and the path of the ball approaching the cushion. So if you notice here, the incoming angle is right here. The outgoing angle is formed by the cushion and the path of the ball leaving the cushion. So our outgoing angle will be right here. As it turns out, the measure of the outgoing angle equals the measure of the incoming angle. So if I know that this incoming angle is, let's just say 60 degrees, what will the measure of the outgoing angle be? 60. So it's kind of one of those things. Let's go ahead and look at the next slide, which talks about this. I'm going to go ahead and hand you out a sheet on this, because this is in fact one of those things. What I need you to do now in your groups is I need you to go through and answer those questions. Those questions are also found on page, I think it's page 42. So page 42 at the top of the page, these are the exact same questions. What I want you to do is go ahead, use your protractor, complete that 1 through 5. Okay? When you're done, you may work on your assignment for tomorrow, which is found on pages 42 through 43, 1 through 24, 31 through 36, and 40 through 43. Okay, I'll go ahead, yes, that is due tomorrow. I'll go ahead and leave that up on the board. You need to work on your investigation right now.